Bajirao Mastani is an Indian epic romance film directed by Sanjay Leela Bansali. A movie, beautifully directed, wonderfully acted, with nicely woven plot, with a perfect blend of love and hate and drama. This saga starts with two main stories about Bajirao, who is a valiant commander-in-chief. The other is of Mastani, a warrior princess who seeks his help to save the empire of Bundelkhand, and their struggle to make the love triumph from his conservative family. Adding what each of them sacrifices for the love and pride forms the crux of the story. It starts in early 18th century, the court of Maratha King Chhatrapati Shahu needs a new Peshwa, the equivalent of a prime minister. Ambaji Pant nominates a young Bajirao. As a test, Bajirao is asked to split a peacock feather with an arrow. He succeeds the test with testimony and is given the Peshwa title. 10 years later, his wife Kashibai is visited by her widowed friend Banu, whose husband was accused of spying, was ordered to be executed by Bajirao. She predicts that just as she yearns for her husband, Kashibai will yearn for Bajirao. While traveling to Saronja, an emissary from Bundelkhand requests Bajirao's help to fight the invaders. She reveals herself as Mastani, the daughter of Hindu Rajput King Chhatrasal and his Persian Muslim consort Rohani Begum. Impressed by her skills as a warrior, Bajirao agrees to help and assists her with his army, and defeats the invaders. Chhatrasal is overjoyed and insists Bajirao to celebrate Holi with them. Mastani and Bajirao fall in love during this time, and he gives her his dagger, unaware that it is a symbol of marriage among the Rajputs. Back home in Pune, Kashibai greets Bajirao with a tour of their newly built Shanaiwa Wada and the Hall of Mirrors, which allows her to see him from her room. Determined to pursue her love, Mastani arrives but is treated harshly by Bajirao's mother, Rathabai, and accommodated in the palace for courtesans, as Rathabai refuses to accept her as a daughter-in-law. Mastani tolerates everything and adamantly expresses her desire to be with Bajirao. Bajirao chides her persistence, reminding her that he is already married and will never fully be hers. He further explains that his court will never respect her. Mastani agrees to these conditions, so Bajirao declares her as his second wife. Meanwhile, the Marathas prepare to attack Delhi, the capital of the Mughal Empire, but must first ensure the Nizam, the Muslim ruler of Hyderabad, will not attack them. Bajirao leaves to confront the Nizam and returns successfully. Through Hall of Mirrors, pregnant Kashibai sees Bajirao embracing Mastani, who is also expecting a child. Heartbroken by this, she leaves to her mother's home and returns few months later with her newborn son, who is named Raghunath. Mastani also gives birth to a son named Krishna Rao. After the Brahmin priest refuses to conduct the Hindu naming ceremony on the grounds that Krishna Rao is illegitimate, Bajirao renames his son as Shamsha Bahadur, deciding that he will be raised as Muslim. A few years later, Kashibai and Bajirao's eldest son, Balaji Bajirao, known as Nana Saheb, returns and expresses his hatred towards Mastani for breaking his mother's marriage. Kashibai learns about a plan to murder Mastani and her son during a festival. Kashibai saves Mastani by relaying this to an unaware Bajirao, who promptly rescues them. To keep Mastani safe and grant her a royal home, Bajirao builds a palace for her. He later leaves for the battlefield to defeat Nasir Jung, the vengeful son of the Nizam. Before leaving, he meets Kashibai in deference to the tradition that a wife see her husband into battle. In tears, Kashibai explains that Bajirao broke her heart and took her pride with what he has done. She asks him not to enter her room again, and then, teary-eyed, Bajirao accepts and apologizes for hurting her. Once Bajirao leaves his mother and Nana Saheb imprison Mastani and her son. Bajirao was notified about this news. In his rage, he single-handedly defeats Nasir Jung's army, but is fatally injured. At Bajirao's deathbed, Kashibai sends a letter pleading his mother to release Mastani so that Bajirao recovers to life. But Nana Saheb burns the letter. Bajirao, delirious from his illness, hallucinates and dies, as Kashibai helplessly watches. At the same time, Mastani dies in captivity. In this way, the saga ends, showing how the ill-fated lovers are now united in death.